Hi guys, this is Jane. I'm a makeup artist here in California. For my first video, what I'm going to do is makeup for brown eyes. And this look is actually great for all sorts of eyes, whether it's brown, whether it's blue, whether it's monolids, or what I like to call Asian eyes. That is when you don't have a crease, or you have no crease, or it's a very, very small that it's not even noticeable. So this is a foolproof technique where we take the darker shade of eyeshadow, and as you go up your eyelid, it gets lighter and lighter. So instead of accentuating a crease, this is one of my favorite styles to wear this color as well, because it's somewhat neutral, but it's dressy, and it makes my eyes look bigger. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you.
First, we begin with primer. I'm using Giorgio Armani's Masterful Wood Primer. It's of clear consistency, and so what I like to do is use my fingers to apply it onto my skin. I take a little dollop, work it into my fingers, and then apply in a circular motion. Now, you're welcome to use any line of primer, but I use this one on my clients. Next, we go on to foundation. I'm using Mercier Silk Cream Foundation, which offers a nice even coverage, and it's very yellow based, which is very suitable for my skin. Now, using the stippling brush, I apply it in a circular motion. The reason I apply it in a circular motion is because then it creates an even finish without any streaks. Apply it on the neck, the jawline, so that there isn't a contrast between your face and your neck. Now we move on to concealer. I'm using Ben Nye's Pinwheel Concealer. This is my favorite line of concealer because it offers 4 options, and then depending on the season, you can just mix and match the colors to get your shade. Now, it is of thicker consistency, so what I tend to do with concealers that are a little bit thicker is mix it in with a little bit of foundation to thin it out. Apply it all over the bottom of your eyes to cover any dark circles, your blemishes, and then on your lid to even out your skin color. Now really work it in with your fingers instead of using a brush so it doesn't create a streak. Next, we move on to powder. I'm using Giorgio Armani's translucent microfil powder to set my foundation. What I like to do is turn my powder upside down, and using the excess powder that's left on the lid is what I use to apply on my face. Now, powder tends to reflect light, so it's important to cover your jawline, your neckline, your collarbone, your neck, everywhere, so that you don't see that contrast between face and neck on pictures.
Bronzer. I'm using NARS'S bronzer in Laguna. Bronzer is one of my must-have items for a flawless face. It adds a bit of color to the skin and really softens the look of the makeup. My only recommendation is that you don't overuse the bronzer and or apply a color that is too dark for your skin. Now, to apply bronzer, use a brush and start with the outer areas of your face, the temples, the jawline, neck, cheekbones, and forehead, and work your way into the center. I don't recommend starting at the center of your face because where you first apply your color is where most of the color is deposited. So you don't want your nose to be darker than the rest of your face.
Another one of my must-have items is my highlighter. You'll notice that even on your favorite celebrities, they always have this nice, beautiful sheen to their complexion. Well, they don't normally wake up with this sheen every morning. It's created by using a highlighter.
The highlighter goes hand in hand with bronzer. I'm using Lorac's Perfictly Lit in Spotlight. My method in applying highlighter is the exact opposite for the bronzer. I start by sweeping a small amount under my eyes, brow bones, other areas of my eyes, and down my nose. I mainly concentrate on the center of my face to give me this glow.
Eyeshadow. This step is probably the most trickiest part of the makeup process, but remember, there's no right or wrong way to put on your eyeshadow. Now, first, I wet my brush with a little bit of water. I don't want it to be too wet, but enough where all the bristles are still moist. Then I use this brush to pick up my eyeshadow. I'm using Galapagos as my darker shade. Now, by using the eyeshadow wet, it really helps
intensify the color and prevents any of the excess shadows from falling. Now, since I use the shadow wet, it's really important to blend. So I use both a crease and a blending brush to do this. I use the crease brush to pick up the dry shadow and then begin blending it with the wet shadow. And I use back and forth strokes. And then in the corners of my eyes, I use a circular motion to help really accentuate the hollows of my eyes. Then I use a blending brush to pick up the lighter shade of eyeshadow and apply it on my brow bone and the hollows of my eyes. Now this step really brings both the colors together instead of creating a harsh contrast between the dark and light colors.
Eyeliner pencil. I'm using Ben Nye's pencil liner in black. I start by really working the eyeliner into the base of the lash line and tightlining the upper and lower lids. Now, the eyeliner is extremely uneven and crooked, but it's okay. I'm going over the liner with a smudge brush to help soften the look of the liner and creating a bit of a smoky effect.
Eyebrows. I use both a powder shadow and an eyebrow pencil. The reason I use both is because the shadow softens the look of the brows and gives it a fuller effect, and the pencil helps define the shape and arch. Now for the shadow, I used an angled brush. I worked the color into the brush, and using long strokes, I applied on the front half of my brows where most of the brow hairs grow. And it fills in any sparse areas where there may be hair missing. Now with the pencil, I use it to help shape the arch, as you will see. And then I use it to fill in any areas where hair doesn't grow, like at the tips. Remember to use long strokes instead of short-handed strokes. And then go over the pencil with the powder shadow to help set it. This helps prevent the eyeliner from running all over your face. Then use your fingers or a sponge to clean up any areas where the shadow might have fallen. Blush. I'm using NARS'S blush in Orgasm. Using a powder brush, I pick up the color and then apply it on my cheekbones, the hollows of my cheeks, as well as the apples of my cheeks. I run a little bit of the color on my forehead, a little bit on my nose, as well as my chin to give my face an overall color.
Gel liner. I'm using Smashbox's angled liner brush and Bobbi Brown's long-lasting gel liner in black. Using the brush, I pick up a generous amount of gel liner and really work it into my brush. By doing this, I can check to see that the gel is still moist. Any excess gel, I will work it off into the back of my hand. I'll go back to this once I run out of gel on the brush. When applying, I use long strokes and extend the liner out slightly beyond the outer corners of my eyes. It's when you do short strokes that the liner looks jaggedy. It's also important to have steady hands when applying this liner. If you aren't able to rest your elbow on the table or counter, lightly use your pinky to balance on your cheek. When you've created the initial shape of the liner, now the easier part is to fill in any areas that you've missed. It's almost like coloring.
False lashes. This step is totally optional. I'm using Duo's eyelash adhesive along with Red Cherry's 505. When removing the lashes from its case, press the lashes down using your finger and gently pull it forward instead of tugging at it from either end, which tends to damage the shape of the lashes. Now, I put a little drop of the false lash glue on the case, and then I use the back of a brush to pick up the glue,
and then apply it on the lashes. When applying the glue directly from the tube, you have the tendency to squeeze too much out, so this prevents that from happening. Now, gently place it on your lash line and then press forward. You want to press the outer and inner corners to make sure those are secured, and then press the middle in. Then I gently blow on the lashes to help dry quickly. Curling and mascara. Now, after you've applied the false eyelashes, you want to blend your real lashes into the false lashes so it doesn't stick out. So in order to do that, you curl your eyelashes and then apply the mascara. Now, you want to remove excess mascara from the wand so that it doesn't become clumpy.
Lips. I'm using a light shade of pink lipstick, but any light color shade will do. I apply lips first, then line the lips with a liner. This way, the liner blends easily without creating a harsh edge and almost always results in a fuller looking lip. Lastly, I finish the look with lip gloss. Here I'm using NARS'S Turkish Delight, which softens the look of any lips. And voila! Here we are.